Okay, so there's one more thing that I would like to point out. So a 49er is a planing skiff, and it's a two-person skiff. And basically you have a 9-foot wide platform, and then you have two people on trapeze, and so but you don't have a wing, so the distance between the actual planing surface and the weight of the people on the trapeze is actually less than you would have on this boat. So that's why on a 49er, the two people have to be in the back corner because the planing surface is basically here. With a Wingmaran, the planing surface is here. And the other thing to note is the wetted surface area of the main hull actually decreases as the speed increases. So when you're traveling 10 knots, half the weight of the boat can be supported by the wing, and somewhere between 15 and 20 knots, the entire hull can rise out of the water. So if you ever get to that speed, you do need either a T rudder or a V rudder with pitch control. Otherwise, you lose pitch control. And so that's why my dad patented a double rudder, V rudder, so that he could basically like a V-tail on an airplane, so he could control the pitch. And control the angle of attack of the wing. But so that's the difference between a 49er, which can go 25 miles an hour, and a Wingmaran is on a 49er, you still have all this entire hull wetted surface area. And it does decrease a little bit as you hike way back to this corner, and it becomes like almost like a planing proa. But in this case, you have more distance between the lift, which is now here instead of here, and the weight, which is out here somewhere. So that's why the speed potential for a Wingmaran is actually higher. Basically a planing skiff with big hiking seats. Okay, so here's a bit of trivia for you that most of you might not be aware of. The last time that a boat with a long and skiddy hull that didn't incorporate dynamic lift won the overall 500 meters speed record was 1968. I think it was called Crossbow 2. And it was a 60-foot long proa. It was a long and skinny hull with this huge long basically arm that people would run out on. And that was the last time that a boat that didn't incorporate dynamic lift won the speed record. Another thing that's really interesting is you would think, oh, with all this, everything is foiling these days, all these America's Cup boats are foiling. There's only been one sailboat that has ever beaten the world speed record, and that was Hydroptère. And with hydrofoils. Every other boat since 1980 that has beaten the world speed record has either been a hydroplaning boat with either one surface, like a windsurfer or a kite surfer, or three surfaces, like the Sail Rocket 2. And another boat, which is actually, it's really hard to find information on, but there was a boat called Yellow Pages Endeavor. And that's basically the closest thing to a Wingmaran that I've ever seen. But it basically was a a tripod of hydroplaning surfaces. The only problem with that one is it wasn't able to tack. It was a one-way proa, basically. Just like Sail Rocket 2, it was only a one-way. So the Wingmaran is two-way. You can tack it. It works on both tacks, basically. That's why the wing is a hydroplaning wing as opposed to a hydrofoil wing. Also, the world record for the fastest motorboat is one that it's basically an inclined plane. It's a hydroplaning boat. It's an Australian boat. I think it almost went up to 300 miles an hour before it wrecked, and unfortunately the inventor lost his life in that experiment. And but that was like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and nobody has attempted to beat that record since. One more interesting trivia fact. What is faster, a regular windsurfer or a windsurfer with a hydrofoil attached to it? The answer is the regular windsurfer.